no! The evil inventor Zach Varmatek has captured 5 baby animals and hid them in the forest. This week, you're going to work and help the wild Kratts brothers, Chris and Martin, help them find these wild animals and return them back to their habitats. So welcome back to Family Summer Camp at Home Edition, Week 4, Wild Kratts. This week, you are going to use your math skills and learn about habitats and what animals need to survive in the wild. You're going to help the brothers rescue 5 baby animals and return them to their habitats using math skills, knowledge of nature, and learning more about what animals need to survive outside. The Kratts brothers, Chris and Martin, travel all over the world learning about animals. This week, they need our help. We are going to help them return the baby animals back to their homes. A home for an animal is called a habitat. A habitat is the natural place where an animal lives. The habitat has to provide food, water, shelter, and space for each animal that lives there. We're going to learn more about how each of these characteristics are used by animals later on this week. So today, the first animal we're going to rescue is a baby hummingbird. The hummingbird power suits need nectar to keep them going. We're going to play the Wild Kratts game, Creature Roundup. So go ahead, load up Creature Roundup, click Start, and listen to the instructions. Once you're done, complete the flower pattern assignment. Once you have completed the flower patterns, help the Kratts brothers find nectar, the sweet liquid inside flowers. In the game, click Go and access the game Flower Flyer. So in Flower Flyer, go ahead, click Learn How to Play, and hear about what you're going to do in this game. Once you pass level 3, click Back to the Roundup and watch your baby hummingbird be released back to their habitat. So once you're done playing the game, go ahead and watch What Do Animals Eat and Flower Flyer. Pause here to play your games and watch your videos and come back for our first activity of the day. In the Creature Roundup game, Chris talked about fractions. Fractions have 2 parts. The numerator on top, which tells us how many pieces we have of the whole, and the denominator on bottom. That tells us how many pieces make up the whole of whatever we're fractioning. I don't think fractioning is a word, but you guys understand what I mean. So go ahead and pull out your Illustrating Fractions handout, and let's learn about how pizza is a great way to teach us fractions. So in this, you see you're going to write the numerator on top, which we remember is the number of how many pieces we have, and the denominator on bottom, which is how many pieces are in the whole. Go ahead and fill this in on each of these, and then once you feel comfortable with those fractions, go ahead and make some of your own. Draw a nice big circle and divide it out into how many pieces for your whole, shade some in, and decide how many pieces you have. It's a great way to continue to practice fractions. We also can practice fractions while we cook. We'll get into that more later. So first, let's review what we know about habitats. We remember that habitats is where something lives. We also remember that habitats need to provide food, water, shelter, and space for the animal that lives there. So what type of food did we help the hummingbird find? We helped it find nectar. Hummingbirds eat nectar and bugs. So their habitat would need to have access to flowers to gather the sweet liquid nectar from, and also insects. But not every animal eats the same thing. Even different birds eat different things. Some birds eat fruit, nuts, and seeds. And today we are going to make food as part of the habitat for those type of birds. So let's start by making our bird feeder. So for this activity, you'll need your bird feeder fractions page. You're going to need a pine cone, or if you don't have a pine cone, you could use a piece of fruit or even a toilet paper roll. You're going to need a dull knife or a spoon or popsicle stick, something that you can use to spread, a baggie, peanut butter. Yes, I buy the very large amount at one time. You also will need some measuring cups, and then some different items for your birdseed mixture. These ones are already mixed, but you can absolutely just buy some dried cranberries, some peanuts, some sunflower seeds. And what we're going to do is we're going to unmix them so that you can practice your fractions. But you can also buy them already unmixed, and then you don't have to do extra. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do, I went ahead and tied my string on my pine cone because I didn't wanna try to mess with it later. And then, but if you're using like a toilet paper roll or apple, I would just either poke a hole in here and tie your string there, or however you wanna try to do that. Then take out some paper to cover your workspace, and I'm gonna tilt the camera down so you can see what I'm doing instead of listening to me talk about it. So first thing I'm going to do is take out my birdseed, my first bag of birdseed mixture, and my measuring cups. And while I'm looking at my birdseed mixture, I see that there's probably more sunflower seeds than there are peanuts or cranberries. So I'm going to pull out a handful and sort all of my sunflower seeds into one, my dried cranberries into another, and my peanuts into a third. This way I can keep track of how much of each ingredient I have. Now, if you don't want to practice your fractions with this, that's okay. You can just use this pre-made and we will show you what to do. So I'm going to get this all sorted and I'll be right back with you guys. So I've got all mine sorted out. I have 1 cup of sunflower seeds, 1/3 cup of cranberries, and 1/4 cup of peanuts. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my peanut butter and my popsicle stick. I can find it. There it is. And hold the string, and then I'm going to smear the peanut butter onto my pine cone. Now in this activity, the peanut butter acts as glue because obviously we don't want our animal friends to eat glue because that would be not good for them and that would make them sick. But we want something to help all of our yummy seeds and berries and nuts to stick to our pine cone. So when you're doing this, just try to cover it as much as you can or how little you want. Birds are going to be happy no matter how much you give them. You can definitely pull some out ahead of time if you would like to make it easier. I don't like doing dishes, so the less I pull out, the less I need to clean up. So I've got this guy almost covered. And then once he's covered, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to dump out and mix together the birdseed stuff that I picked out, and I'm gonna roll my pine cone in that so it sticks to it. So, all right, my pine cone's pretty well covered. He's not perfectly covered, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump these guys out. And I'm gonna mix them together a little bit just so there's a little more of an even texture throughout the whole. I'm gonna take my pine cone, I'm gonna really just sort of roll, but like push it into the seeds. And try to cover as much of it as I can. So this is a little bit of a messy part. If you or your children do not like your fingers being messy or do not like, dirt, I would suggest wearing gloves for this. Or if your kids are really young, I would suggest doing this outside so what pieces fall are just going to get picked up by other animals. Alrighty, so my pine cone is pretty well covered. And what I will do is I will go take him outside and hang him on a tree. So now that I've got my pine cone covered and he's ready to go outside, I'll go hang it out on a tree when I'm done here. And keep an eye on what birds you see coming eating from your new bird feeder. So you have plenty of materials. Feel free to do this as much as you want. Hang as many bird feeders as you have birds. We really hope you're enjoying this family summer camp at home edition, and don't forget to send us your videos, pictures, what you're doing. We love hearing from you guys, and I'm gonna go wash up, and we will see you back here tomorrow for day 2. Bye.